Is Dallas in town, or are they?
Yeah, no. Luka Doncic and Kyrie also spoke earlier in the day.
So everyone's descending on Boston.
Correct.
It started. Finally. You start to feel it there, Mazz? How you feeling about the series right now?
Yeah, today's like a big, the biggest hype day because it's the day before. Pretty much everybody's available. They all talk. You're starting to get a sense. I mean, we're closing into 24 hours here before the ball goes up. And so you do. As it gets closer, you feel the buzz factor. You feel the energy. If you don't start to get, I say butterflies, not that the fans are playing in it, but if your energy level doesn't start to go up, there's something wrong.
I won't feel it until tomorrow when we're down there doing the live broadcast. This is too long of a layoff. It's just somehow yet another night without basketball. Let's go.
So, Murray, I would normally agree with you. I watched some of these press conferences today, so that's why I felt it.
Okay.
Right? But so to me, you start to, because I'm used to the routine of it. The day before is when, you start doing all the pregame stuff. So the real pregame stuff.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm starting to feel it.
How about your feelings on the series? Are those feelings changing, evolving?
Not really.
They are for me, but go ahead.
So again, I'll give you my pick tomorrow, but I have the same concerns today I had a week ago on both sides. I think, to me, the series is going to be tight. I would not surprise me in the least bit if this thing goes 7. And I think Dallas is playing well. I think that Doncic is an absolute force and a terror, and he would scare the crap out of me if I'm on the other side. And if I'm Dallas, I'm looking at the Celtics going, how are we going to stop them? Because they have more shooters than anybody we've played. So, I think if the games are higher scoring, they're going to favor the Celtics. If they're a little bit lower scoring, they're going to favor Dallas. I think the Celtics have been that way all year long, that the way to beat them is to slow the game down. I think Doncic can do that and execute late in the shot clock, and I think it's going to be a fight. I do.
I like the Celtics. I think the Celtics are the deeper team. I don't think it's going to go 7. I think at best it'll go 6. I will say, here's my one little but. I'm starting to get a little concerned about Kristaps Porzingis. We'll dive into the sound, and he spoke yesterday and a little bit more today, but it doesn't sound to me, just from listening to some of this, that he feels as confident about where he is health-wise as maybe the team does. Shocker.
The Porzingis presser yesterday was fascinating. I didn't catch up on it until overnight. But, geez, to Murray's point, he's either a great actor or he's not at all confident that he's going to be, fit for the finals, which isn't to say he ain't going to play. He's obviously going to play. But what's his confidence level in where he's at? It doesn't feel very high. Or, again, he's a good actor. Or there's a language thing or something.
He speaks really good English.
His English is great.
Yeah.
So's Doncic. His is pretty good, too.
So it's not a language thing.
I don't
think so either.
No, and just not to give it away too much, but again, he's asked, how you feel while you're running. He waited 10 seconds before he answered. He's not right. I still don't think he's, 100% or close to it.
So my feelings on the series, the closer we get to it, the less confident I am in the Celtics. I don't think I'm going to change my prediction or anything. But, Mazz, as part of the talk radio and certainly the Felger and Mazz experience, I think a big part of what we do is when we're talking about a big game, we sort of set up, what could go wrong and how could they lose? We sort of spend more time on that side of it. I think it's more interesting to talk about it that way.
Sure.
How my team could lose and where my flaws are. And it's certainly, I think, better discussion, better talk radio to do it that way. So we do that. And we do that in a big football game, big sporting events, where are the weaknesses? How could they lose? Where are the weak points from that angle? So it's kind of an exercise. It's just sort of the way we approach it. But the more we do it with this, the more I'm kind of buying it. Maybe I'm talking myself into it. Between how the Mavericks play late in these games, how you play late in these games, the whole thing about the best player usually wins, and you have to have a true MVP caliber player on your team to win a championship. Doncic is the consensus best player, and Tatum has kind of fallen out of that true MVP caliber tier, I think. It's not that he sucks, but he's not a top 3 guy. I'm not really close to it. That's starting to catch up to me. Porzingis, I didn't put any stock into, but then I listened to him yesterday. I'm like, oh, well, he sounds like he doesn't even want to go out there. And so, all these things are sort of creeping in. I'm starting to buy it. I'm sort of buying into our own bull crap a little bit, and I'm starting to doubt him. I'd be more nervous. I'm more nervous about him now than I was a week, 10 days ago.
So for you, it's a Celtics issue.
Yeah, and the best player thing. There's a lot of history in that. and a lot of precedent in the NBA. Best player wins.
I mean, that Pistons team for 20 years ago, that's the outlier. It does. It's usually the team with the best player.
Best player, MVP caliber guy. Those are the teams that win. And if you got that guy and the other team doesn't, the team that doesn't almost never wins. It's just the way it works. So Dallas has that guy for sure. You do too, I think. But I'm less, he's less definitively in that tier, Jayson Tatum.
Definitely.
So and so then I've also said, and I came into the thing saying, well, they don't need Jayson Tatum to be the MVP. They don't need him to be that guy because they've got a better team. They're better 2 through 5. They're better 2 through 7. They've got 2 guys like that at least. Well, I know Dallas does too, but they're 3 and 4 and blah blah blah. But then when you look at the history, it's like, well, yeah, I feel that way about the Celtics. I like that way. I like that thing about the Celtics, their depth of talent. But those teams with depth of talent usually lose to the team that has the guy. And so, I'm sort of getting stuck on that as much as anything.
Well, it's a good thing to get stuck on because one guy in this sport, provided the other 4 are on complete stiffs, but one guy in this sport can completely change it. In theory, he can play 48 minutes. I mean, I'm not telling you that's going to happen. He's going to rest at some point, but he's going to be out there for 90% of the game. And he's going to have the ball in his hands for, if you cut it in half of his half of the game, he's going to have the ball for 80 of it or something close to it. So, Doncic should scare you. He can control the game better than anybody that's out there, including Kyrie.
Okay, meanwhile, Jaylen Brown, everybody spoke today. It's like media day. And so everyone spoke. I haven't been able to go through any of the sound. Do we have Jaylen Brown, Jimmy? Give me
his first question, I think, is what you were looking for yesterday, is talking about Kyrie as a teammate and now facing him.
Love to see it.
You got Kyrie Irving on the other side of things, former teammate of yours, and certainly one of the better players in the league with the ball in his hands. What was it like having him as a teammate? How was that formative in your career, and just the defensive challenge of going up against a guy like him? What does it take to stop him?
Well, I think it was that was like 5 questions.
Stop.
I think it was great.
Thank you. Just ask a direct question and shut up. God, now I'm going to get all annoyed listening to the questions. But I told you I'm going to be.
You're a better you this week.
I'm going to keep my cool this week. So I'm not going to go scream at some media guy.
But, you're teetering.
But just ask just one question at a time, simple and shush. That's it. But go ahead.
You sure?
No, go.
Well, I think it was that was like 5 questions. I think it was great. Definitely learned a lot from Kyrie while he was here, and it's been great to see his journey, to see where he's at, all the stuff that he's going through.
Just stop! It's
and
so
stuff
unbelievable. The guy's a dick. What don't you understand? Why can't they express some of that? God, isn't it aggravating?
Yes, it is.
Good God, guys!
It might be coming still, I suppose, but
Kyrie came here and napalmed the place. He set you back. He got in the way of you becoming a fully formed professional. He submarined the situation. Forget about what he did with the fans. Who cares about that? I'm talking about what he did to you as a professional and your team. And all these guys can say is, I got a lot of fond memories? Or along those lines? Good grief. My Lord. I know they feel that way, but I thought at least someone would give it lip service. I know I'm jumping the gun here, apparently, but just start over. Go ahead, give that without that long, stupid ass question.
Well, I think it was that was like 5 questions. I think it was great. Definitely learned a lot from Kyrie while he was here, and it's been great to see his journey, to see where he's at, all the stuff that he's going through, and stuff like that. To be where he's at, it's amazing. It's dope to see. How to stop him? That's a great player over there. So it's going to be a full team effort. Him and Luka, making sure that we're alert, making sure that we're back in transition, and do the best we can.
It's amazing. It's dope. On Kyrie Irving.
So annoying.
I mean, I'm telling you.
Let alone the fact that he destroyed his own career. see him come back. Like, and maybe I just heard that and he didn't actually say it, but that's what the message felt like. Kyrie self-destructed. He did everything you shouldn't do as a teammate and a player.
Was that the only Kyrie question? I'm just going through what you sent over here. I know it's happening in real time, so I don't know. I'm just...
While you're looking, like, as an organization, you obviously don't want to mute your players or, anything like that, but going into your second NBA Finals with this core, this is a sensitive subject for your fan base. Shouldn't someone say, guys, can you just downplay this a little bit? Like, dial it back, your friendship with the guy who your fan base loathes and you're facing here for the title. Can you just... You don't say anything bad about him, but how about just say,
he came here.
Well, I think it was that was like 5 questions.
He comes here, Kyrie does, and he slows you down, sets you back, almost blows up his whole career, true. But then he goes on, and now he's resurrected, and he's, rejuvenated. And that whole thing to you is amazing. It's dope.
It's great.
You learned a lot. What did you learn from him when he was here?
What not to do.
That's what you would say. Does that feel like that? What Jaylen Brown meant by that?
No, of course not. I was being sarcastic.
Obviously, just the opposite. Great to see his journey. Like, good Lord. I know they feel this way, but I was hoping just to get some tone. Now, and the worry is that this is actually how they approach it on the floor. Now, I know Jaylen Brown's going to stick his nose in there and play hard, and he's not going to back down. And I think Jaylen Brown's play style, he plays with enough aggressiveness. I'm not necessarily worried about him. Tatum is a whole different thing. But just combined, like, wouldn't they on some level want to take Kyrie Irving out?
Yeah, look, I mean, I'm just playing devil's advocate here, okay? Because I would rather than kind of say, hey, look, that was a long time ago. I don't want to talk about Kyrie. We're going to play, and that's it. Like, I'd prefer that, too. Is there any chance that the Celtics have taken the approach of say only nice things and don't stir the pot with this guy?
Yeah.
I mean, so at the end of the day, I'm going to judge them on how they play.
Me too. Fine.
So that's all. But I understand the point.
I mean, my standard response here, and I'm sorry to do it to you.
Yeah, we got to do a talk show every day. I get it.
This is what they said today, and so that's my reaction.
I understand it. You're not wrong to say that. I understand that totally. Because the real issue is, if they were something different competitively, this wouldn't bother us. So it's Tatum in particular. So the fact Tatum's softness in competition can't help but lead you to believe that he's being soft again. That, to me, is sort of where it connects. And from that standpoint, do I have concerns that Jayson Tatum won't be engaged enough and assertive enough in this series? My answer is yes. To me, I don't know how you come away from that with any feeling but that with Tatum because of how he's played. If you like that clip, check out more videos from Felger and Mazz here. For more Celtics analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.